not sure where I'm going with this video today, and it's definitely not my normal upbeat or RV related video in a sense. But the things that are troubling me, and I can't ignore them, and I don't want to necessarily hear I'm losing faith and I need to trust the plan and trust Trump blindly and these things that a lot of people say. I was one of those for a long time, that Trump's going to save us and all this stuff, and I'm not knocking what he's doing or what he's accomplished. There's just something in the back of my mind that just isn't sitting well, and I need to voice it. And if it doesn't go anywhere other than to the airwaves, I guess, then whatever, I don't care. But the thing that's really troubling me with this big beautiful bill is it was decent at first when it was first penned, but all of the changes that this unelected Democrat person is changing, taking out everything that was a win for the Second Amendment. We have millions of dollars going to AI surveillance, which in itself will be way worse than what they passed with the Patriot Act, George W. And so many other things that by the time it gets to the desk of the president, if it arrives the way that it's being rewritten and gutted, and Trump signs it, it's not good. It's not good for anyone other than politicians and government. But it's screwing over you and I, the everyday citizens. Now, let me clear the air here. I am in no way a Democrat or regret that Kamala lost the election. And I'm not a Trump hater. I have supported Trump since he got on the scene and won the election in 2016. But I always go back to his last appearance at the Whirlpool factory when he said, "You may not see me for a long time." So, is this the real Trump that we're seeing now? I mean, we haven't seen the real one for so long, and there's so many clones and doubles and stand-ins that are we really seeing the real Donald Trump? In 2016, at his inauguration, he came down to the podium, and as he started his speech, the branches of the military came down and surrounded him, and that was symbolic. And he went on to say that he was giving the power back to the people, and basically symbolism that he turned the government over to the military. So since then, we've been living in one big psyop. So is the psyop over, or are we still living it? Is this the course that we're on until this NASARA happens? Do we have to prove that both sides of the government, Democrats and Republicans, are so corrupt and so bought and paid for that we need an entirely new government? And that's what we're told will happen with NASARA. So I know that we try to stay up on the hopium side of things and believe that there is an escape for the world that we're living in. And I understand that. You have to have hope, because if not, you're going to have mass unalivings. I absolutely hate the world that we live in right now, that you can't say the words that you want to say. You have to like circumvent algorithms and AI, and how long is it going to be before they trigger that word where we can't even say unaliving or unalive or whatever again. But I guess we have to work with what we have. But I don't think that we're going to see the RV until the SAR happens. That's the only way that it's going to work, because think about it. The deep state is not going to roll over. Let's segue into the Diddy trial that's going on today. Supposedly the verdict's coming out today, the Epstein files. When the people who are in power are on these lists, do you think they're going to like, well, I got caught with my hand in a cookie jar, so I'm going to go report to Gitmo? Do you really think that that's how things are going to unfold? No, it's not. It is not going to happen that way. The deep state is not going to roll over and wait for someone to come up and put a lead vitamin in their head. It's not going to happen that way. So we continue to fight the war, the cyber war, the psyop war. We can only do what we can do. This isn't the America of old, where people took up arms and overturned governments. They have, over the years, diluted the American spirit by modern day slavery. So I saw a video, and I posted it on Twitter from a guy on TikTok, and I don't want to steal his thunder, but basically he was saying that slaves of old worked daylight to dark, but they had, food, housing, whatever, and they didn't have to pay for those things. But now in today's world, we still work daylight to dark almost 7 days a week, but we have to pay for our food, housing, healthcare, groceries, and we have very little to show for it at the end of the month. So we're still slaves. It's just the paradigm has shifted. That's not the life. That's not the life that we are intended to live. It's definitely not freedom, because stop paying your bills and stop paying your property tax and stop paying the IRS and see how long your freedom lasts. We have the illusion of freedom, and I love America, and I will defend it to my death, because once America is gone, even the America of today, freedom's done. There's no coming back from it. There's no other nation on the world, on the earth, that is going to free anyone from tyranny if America goes away. So that is what's fueling my angst and my Um, I can't blindly follow anyone anymore. And like I said, I love President Trump. I think he is the absolute best option there is right now. So I don't want anyone to misconstrue what I'm saying. But when you just put the blinders on and follow anyone, it could lead you straight to the slaughterhouse, and nobody wants that. I know this is just kind of a somber video. It's definitely not the ones I usually put out. Not sure if I'll put it on YouTube, maybe just Rumble, I'm not sure yet. But we have to really take a, what's the word, sober look at where we really are at in our lives and our government and our future. And I hope and pray that one day very soon all the pieces are going to fall into place and we're going to see a new government via Nasara, the debt jubilee, the reset, global currency reset, the RV, all these things that we're hoping for. But you can't have one without the other. You cannot have received this big huge windfall of fake money and it still being applied to the old broken world, broken system. If money moving forward is not gold and asset backed, it's the same thing that we have now. It's fiat paper money that they can just Xerox off and it has no value. We are headed to a point in our financial system that they can't keep writing checks when there's no money in the bank. They can't keep passing $1 trillion deficits or bills that are going to put us further behind when there's nothing to pay for these things. At some point, the lenders become the masters. And when they know you don't have the money to pay for the loans, guess what? So there has to be a reset coming. That's the only thing that makes sense. Now, the timing of that reset has to be with a new government, a new officials put in place, and the SARA happens. There's people go to the spa, Gitmo, and new people are elected. And hopefully there are good people left in the world that will do the right things once they're elected and realize that they're elected representatives, not elected leaders. We have to get back to we the people, and we have to be a nation and a world united against tyranny, against the deep state, against the cabal. And we have to realize that there's so much more to the world that we have no clue about. There's so much to our past and history that we don't even realize or understand or can comprehend. What happened in the Great Reset? Where did all the people go? If you're wondering what that means, look into the mud flood, look into Tartaria, look into the Great Reset that happened a long time ago. And even religion in the Bible, King James only became king because he did nothing when the government came to unalive his mom, the Queen of Scots. So she went away, and then King James became the King of England and Scotland, and then therefore came into power and wrote the King James Bible, or had it written. But it was manipulated into a way that religion is control, and all the parts that were contrary to that were removed. So we don't even have the complete grasp of the relationship between us as individuals and the Creator, because so much of the Bible was removed. So long story short, we have to have complete transparency in the past in order to understand where we're at, in order to understand where we're heading. And I guess for me, I look at so many things, trying to understand the giant picture, not just Nasara, not just money, not just future things. If we don't know where we came from, how can we know where we're going? And the people who control the information control the world. And that's not you and I, unfortunately. We're digging. You know, TikTok is TikTok, but there are a lot of people on here that dig and share while they can. So, like I said, this isn't my typical video, but it's just things that for no other reason, I need to say out loud. So let me know if you found value in this. But if you didn't, and you think that we just have to trust a plan and that's all there is to the world, then I don't know what to say. All right, that's it for now. Talk to you later.